Hey there, my friends. This is Dave Wood, and I'm talking to you in front of my home here in Escazú, Costa Rica. This is my swimming pool, and this looks out over the city of San Jose. And today we have a special subject for this daily shortcut, as we've got airplanes going by in the background, the wind is blowing. I wanted to tell you something, that you have the power to make millions and millions and millions of dollars, whether it's on the internet, off the internet. I actually think that the way that you do that is going to be dependent on you and your personality, but the reality is that I believe that you can do it. And so today I'm going to talk about the secret that you can use to make millions and millions of dollars. So this is your $1 million success secret. You ready for it? I'm going to cover some principles, and then I'm going to cover some keys to be able to unlock those principles. And so the first point that I really wanted to get across to you today is I want you to understand that you are a divine creation. You have the power to create incredible things. A lot of people, they live their entire life, they never have somebody really believe in them, they never have somebody really speak life into them, and they don't know really what it's like to have a mentor who really can guide them down a path. I was lucky enough when I was born to have parents who, although they were middle class, they weren't rich. They believed in me. They always spoke life into me. They always were positive about the direction of my life and the things that they believed I could do. And I also was blessed enough to have mentors early on in my life that believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I remember when I first got involved in the home business industry, I wasn't really around this environment where you could just learn how to do things and get results like that on the internet. I didn't really have a progressive learning system like what I give people in order to be able to take them from zero to be able to make six figures. I didn't have anything like this. I had to just go out there and grind it out. And I remember there was nights when I didn't believe in myself, when I would call up one of my early mentors, a man named Dennis, and I'd just be like, Dennis, this isn't working for me. And he'd say, Dave, I believe in you. I believe that you can do this. And it was just those words of life, those words of belief that kept me around the industry long enough to succeed. And so I wanted to tell you today that you can do this, that you do have the power to overcome, that it doesn't matter what obstacles you've ran into along the way, that you do have the power to overcome those obstacles. You do have the power to step into a new future. You do have the power to do great things in your life. So principle one, you're a divine creation. Principle number two is that as a part of being a divine creation, you do have greatness inside your heart. I believe that people are born with a purpose, and they're born with a reason why they exist. And I don't think anybody's reason for existing is to be poor and just kind of eke by in life. I think that everybody can prosper. I believe that everybody can win. Too often in our society, because we are a part of systems of capitalism and socialism, depending on which country we live and depending on who's fighting for power, the reality is that people's dreams are pushed to the side in favor of supporting a system that's really designed as a rat race that just keeps people running around in a loop. And I remember what it felt like to be inside that race. I remember what it felt like to be running in circles, exhausted all the time, burning out all the time, right? And not really feeling hope, not really feeling like there's something bigger and better, not really feeling like there's a direction in the future. The reality is, though, is that I found out how I could just step off that hamster wheel. And when I stepped off the hamster wheel and I looked at it, all I saw was a hamster wheel spinning, but I was no longer on the hamster wheel spinning with it. And so the reality is that I did have greatness in my heart, I did have greatness inside, and I just didn't know how to access it. And so I believe that your vision matters, I believe that your dreams matter, and I believe that your future matters just as much, and that you do have greatness inside your heart. So greatness inside your heart is actually principle number two. Principle number three is that greatness and that vision and that purpose has value in the world. You are valuable to the world, and I wanted to encourage you to that you do have value to share. A lot of times the people see things, especially on the internet, and they look at people and they're like, well, I don't have a big house, I don't have a big swimming pool, you know, I haven't done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, I haven't recruited thousands of people, what value do I have? The reality is that you have unique experiences, you have a unique background, you have a unique story that I don't have, and those stories and that background are valuable. And the reality is that when you increase your idea of self-worth, you're going to automatically increase the amount that you can charge in the marketplace. And so for myself, when I learned that I was actually, this is one of my biggest breakthroughs I ever had. See, I always came from this background where all the systems and all the things I was a part of, they always told me to follow somebody's system, to follow somebody's words of advice. And then I got around an environment and people told me, no, you want to be the leader that people are looking for. You want to be the person whose advice people are following, and you need to learn how to step up and to create that advice, to be able to create those, to create that content, to create that value for other people. If you're creating that value for other people from the things that you know, from the things that you're sharing, then people are actually going to follow you, and this is how you step into leadership. And when I began to do that, when I began to realize that I am valuable, right, everything in my world changed because I realized that I do have everything that I need to succeed in my business right now. And I started to do that literally like that. It was like magic. And so you are valuable is the next principle. Now that brings us to the final secret in the next part of today's message, which is the actual secret, your actual $1 million success secret. Guess what it is? It's you. It's you unlocking the key to your heart and opening up the door so you can step through into a new future away from the block that you're experiencing that you're actually generating. The real secret to unlocking your future, the secret to unlocking your $1 million earnings is actually you. Right? You. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 5 keys to unlocking that $1 million secret and 5 keys to stepping into a new future. Key number 1 is really simple. The first key to stepping into your new future is to dream big. You want to dream really big. And what do I mean by big? I mean take the biggest thing that you've ever dreamed, like this, and just stretch the limitations of it. Because the reality is a lot of us, we set small dreams for ourselves, and because our dreams are small, they're not attractive to other people. But in order to do great things, we actually have to attract other people. And this is the general principle. I actually teach this in a product series that we have inside the company. The actual principle is that your dream needs to be big enough to where the dreams of the people you're working with actually fit inside your dream, and there's still lots of space for other people, right? And if other people that are working with you, if their dreams don't fit inside your dream bubble, then what happens is that their dreams are going to burst outside the edges of the bubble, and they're going to leave your life, and they're going to go do something else. You want your dream to be big enough to be inclusive of the great people that you're attracting to yourself, and the bigger the dream is, the greater the people that you're going to attract to yourself. So you want to dream big. Principle number 2 is to have faith, to walk in faith. And what do I mean by that? I mean that faith is the evidence of things that you haven't seen. It's the substance and the evidence of things that don't exist yet, right? I think it's like faith is I don't remember the exact quote there, but that's what it is. It is evidence of things that you haven't seen yet, okay? And so when you walk in faith, you're walking as if things that haven't happened yet have happened, right? And are going to happen and are happening now. You're walking as if when the thing that you're walking as if it's happening hasn't happened yet. Right? So you want to walk in your life, you want to produce in your life, you want to cast vision in your life as if you are walking in the future right now, that you're creating it right now. You're seeing that building you're building right now. You're seeing that auditorium you're in right now. As you're speaking with somebody, you're speaking that belief in them, you're casting faith into them that that person can do it, that that person is going to create and produce rooms of tens of thousands of people. You want to cast and to speak faith into people, right? And then people around you will begin to change. So principle number 2 is to actually have faith. Principle number 1 is to dream big. So what's principle number 3? Principle number 3 is to walk in the laws of prosperity. Look, just like the law of gravity, there's laws of prosperity. There are functions with which money flows through the universe. And money really is not, a lot of people think about this wrong. They think about it as something dirty, right? Because, they look at all the movies on TV, and the rich guy's this evil villain, and the poor guy has superpowers and can shoot lasers from his eyes, right? But the reality is that there are laws of prosperity, right? There are laws of prosperity. Like, for example, giving is a law of prosperity, right? If you're not giving, right, what you're really saying to yourself is you're saying there's not even enough for me, so I can't give. But if you're giving, what you're really saying is you're saying I'm walking in abundance. It's more powerful than an affirmation. Giving is more powerful than an affirmation. People that give a set percentage of their income away to something that they believe in are saying there's more than enough for me, so I'm giving out of the abundance that I have. They're calling themselves abundant, right? Affirmations, those are a part of the laws of prosperity, and giving is a form of affirmative action that's showing that you actually have more than enough for yourself. Another principle of prosperity is the principle of creating space. What happens is, I look at it like this. Like, let's say you have a heart bubble, and your heart bubble is like this. Now, if this is not true, which I don't think it's probably necessarily true, this is a metaphor for me, but let's say you have a heart bubble, and it's this space that you have to contain things in your life. And if all this space is filled up with rage, with anger, with hurt from the past, with lack of forgiveness, right, with hurt emotions, then there's no space for anything good in your heart, right? And so if you open up the space in your heart by getting rid of things that are there that you don't need anymore, right, then new things can enter in because there's space that's been opened. This is a principle of the vacuum, right? There's actually a book called The Spiritual Laws of Prosperity I had recommended a long time ago, and they called that principle the principle of the vacuum, because when you have space, it must be filled, and so if you take something out, then something else will come in. And so in your life, a lot of people, they don't want to get rid of things they don't use. I was just watching a video in Spanish from a Spanish personal development expert. My Spanish is good enough now to where I understand that, but I sound like a bad American, okay? So if you speak Spanish, I can speak to you, but it's a really bad accent still. But I was listening to this author, and he was talking about the principle of order in your life and how getting rid of things is way more important than gathering things. That the principle of organization is based off of eliminating, not adding. And if you want to add things to your life, the best way to do it is to actually eliminate things that you don't need, to eliminate clothes that you don't need, cars you don't use, right? To eliminate space that you're not using. To take things out of your life that you don't need allows you to open space to bring new things into your life. And so these are parts of the principles of prosperity, and when you get the daily shortcut, you're actually going to get more of the principles, but also as you're watching these every day, we're going to continue to give you principles. You want to follow the laws of prosperity. So that's principle number 4. Principle number 3, excuse me. Principle number 4, right? I got notes. Principle number 4 is to focus on productive work, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, it's not just productive work. There's different kinds of work that ends up producing prosperity. And so by productive work, what I actually mean is that work that is going to produce income for you. And so the highest paid work is actually thinking. It's thought, right? Thought is the most difficult form of work, but it's also the most productive work. The people that are the highest paid in the world are the people that spend the most time thinking. If you read any books by billionaires, you'll find that they spend structured time every day thinking alone. They take the time to think through complex processes, to think through systems, to think through vision. They take the time to dream, to write things down. They take the time to learn. Learning and thinking are actually productive work, right? You want to take your time and you want to gear it towards things that actually are going to produce income for you. And so when you're out there and you're in the marketplace and you're actually giving your heart in the marketplace, what you actually want to do in the marketplace as you're giving your heart and as you're giving your mind and your time is you want to focus all that energy that you're giving on things that produce the biggest, dramatic, largest amount of income that is alignment with you and your vision. Because if you're not doing that, what you're really doing is you're saying to yourself, I'm not valuable enough to get paid higher than this. And that's not because that's true. That's because that's what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, my time, my energy, my mind is worth this amount. And therefore, I'm going to do work that produces this amount. And I'm not going to do anything more. This is what I'm going to do because this is the amount that I'm worth in the marketplace. But the reality is that if you start giving more value than you're worth, then you're getting paid currently in the marketplace, you're going to become worth more and your pay is going to increase, period. If you give more value, your pay will increase. And so what you want to do is you want to constantly be doing things that make your time more valuable. This is part of the laws of prosperity. It's part of the laws of personal development. If you grow as a person and if you grow in the value that you're giving, your income will grow. Period. There might be a little catch-up time. A catch-up time is fine. You want to always be giving more value than the amount of money that you're making. And if you do that, you're going to be unusually successful. So the next secret that I've got for you today is to, of course, claim your copy of the Daily Shortcut. The reason is because this is going to be a part of your growth process. By bringing this new information into your mind, you're also going to be getting information out of your mind that you don't need. So to receive this, to even open up space in your mind, you've got to open up your philosophies and say, is there something that I need to get rid of today? Not is there something that I need to add, is there something that I need to get rid of? Is there an attitude that I need to let go of? Is there something that I need to put to the side? Is there something that I like doing that I don't really like doing as much as I like prospering, that I need to get out of my life to open up time for the activities to prosper more abundantly in my life? Is there something that I need to open up space in a relationship I need to let go of, a business I need to let go of in order to open up space in my mind and my heart for a new and a more powerful and a better future? Right now, find out by scrolling down until you see the email field, and when you see the email field, put in your best email to reach you at. Click the button that says give me the daily shortcut. I will see you on the next page. I'm going to give you an audio today's show. I'm going to give you a PDF breakdown where you can break down these principles and apply them into your life. And more importantly than that, we're going to see how we can help you to form a better shortcut in your life and to help you build a system in your life that supports you stepping into your dreams and stepping into your future and creating way more value in the marketplace than you could possibly even receive in the form of money. And that, my friend, is what transforming is really all about. It's about stepping into a new world and a new future filled with value, abundance, relationships, and wealth in every area of your life and every area of your mind and heart. My friend, I appreciate you. Congratulations today on scrolling down, putting in your email, and clicking the button that says give me the daily shortcut. And after you do that, feel free to leave a detailed, thoughtful comment below, and we will give the person that writes the best comment a free book to help you to step into a new future, to help you prosper more, because my friend, you can prosper more, you could be more abundant in your life. This is Dave Wood. I appreciate you. You are a divine creation. You have the power to do great things. You can break the chains in your family. You can step into a new future. You can change anything that you want to change in your life just by deciding and saying, I am worth it. I am a beautiful creation in the world. I'll see you in the next episode.